This episode is brought to you today by Whitehall Mortgage, where there's a will, there's a Whitehall. Buying a home starts by getting a pre-approval, and nobody does it better than Doug in Dallas. Call them today at 570-562-7505 or apply online at whitehallmortgagefinancial.com. Hey everybody, I'm Dave Wychak. I'm the host of the Real Estate Right Now podcast, and on today's episode, I want to talk about some things that I think are really important to today's realtor. And it is the top technology tools that every realtor needs to be using right now. All right. So maybe you're already using these tools. And if you are, that's great. Maybe there's a better version of it out there. But if you're not using these things, maybe you're not using any of them. I mean, I don't know what that would look like. But if you're not using these things, now's the time. Start looking into them. And if there's more than one of these things that you're not using, look, start one at a time and start picking out some of these things that you need to do that'll help you in your career. As a realtor, you cannot fear technology. It's not going away. And it's constantly changing and constantly evolving. So if you want your business to evolve as well, you have to stay on top of the technology. So the first thing that every realtor needs as far as a tech tool is concerned is a CRM. Look, there's a ton of different CRMs out there. Look, I'm a big proponent of, I think if you could automate a CRM, great. If you're someone who loves to use a CRM, that's fantastic. It will make you a better realtor. Like sometimes I say this all the time, what's the best CRM for a realtor right now? What is far and away the number one CRM for a realtor? And I guarantee you this is the right answer. The best CRM for a realtor is one that you're actually going to use, okay? Doesn't matter what it is, because it's different things for different people. Some people need a high-tech CRM. Some people can get away with writing names and phone numbers down in a notebook. Doesn't have to be high-tech. It just has to keep you on task, keep you focused, and make sure clients don't slip through the cracks. So you have to have a great CRM, whatever that may be. Another tech tool that you need as a realtor is some type of social media video editor. Look, obviously, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who believes in video much more than I do, because I do think it's something that realtors need to do. But people sometimes fear video because they don't know what to do, or they think, well, how am I going to do this? Look, there's so many apps out there that can just add captions onto your videos for you. Like get into it a little bit here, right? Some of them, look, if you just went through every free trial, you could probably use them up to a year without paying $1 for them, right? But start doing that. And I think one tip I want to give you right now, you have to caption your videos, because so many people, all right, when they're watching reels on whatever social media platform you want to, they're listening to them with their volume off. So you have to have captions. So if they can't hear you, they can at least read along. I mean, look, let's be honest. How many of you sit up with your husband or your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend next to you in bed trying to sleep, and you're stuck watching reels on your favorite platform, right? I mean, guilty. So you have to caption those things. So some type of social media video editor. Another thing, some type of transaction management platform, I think is really important. We've gotten to the point where everybody's e-signing anymore. And I don't know. I mean, look, I still think I'm new to the business. I know I'm not. I've been around for a while now. But I still remember the day and age where I would have to tell my wife, hey, honey, I'm going to sign a contract. I'll see you in 2 hours. Because I'd have to explain the contract to someone face to face, every little paragraph and every little sentence. Honestly, like I remember there were times where I would make an offer on a contract or for a client, and it would be a 2-hour process, just explaining everything, getting them to hand sign everything. And now we've gotten to the point where we'll send out an email, and in Pennsylvania, our contract is 14 pages. And then you have other, it's not just the contract, right? There's a consumer notice and all these other things. So you'll send out a document to be signed. It'll be 25 pages. It'll come back in 6 minutes. and you wonder, well, geez, did they really read that? But, if they trust you, I think that's why they're doing it. But you have to have some type of transaction management platform. And I do think there's people out there who will still hand sign contracts, but they're few and far between anymore. Another thing that you have to have is some type of AI content assistant. And look, AI, it can't be a fear point for realtors anymore. And it's so weird. Like anytime there's some change in technology, this is going to be the thing that puts realtors out of business. Now that there's AI, realtors are doomed, And I remember certain companies out there launched these iBuyer platforms, and many of those are now defunct not too long after their initial launch. But when they come out, it's like, this is going to change everything. Don't fear AI. It's a tool, right? Like if you've never logged into ChatGPT and you're a realtor, you're missing out, okay? You're missing out. if you're writing terrible descriptions of your house, just give it a whirl, right? See where it goes. Don't fear AI. Use it as a tool. It's not going to replace you. It's going to make you better at what you're already doing. Another thing, some type of IDX website or some type of real estate search app, I think you need to do. And there's a ton of them out there. I don't want to talk about them individually. You all know what they are. Look, just Google an IDX website for a realtor and you're going to have 8,000 results that are going to pop up. Look, I think I read a stat the other day and it said something like, 96% of home buyers start their search online. And I always say I don't believe that number because I think 4% not searching online is way too high of a number. Everybody's searching online. You need to be there too. You have to have a great website. It's going to help you be a better realtor. Again, we talked about this previously, sort of, is some type of e-signature tool, right? We're at that point now, guys, where everybody is signing contracts through email. Look, it's just so much more efficient than doing these hand-signed contracts. And again, there's always going to be a place for that, but you have to have some type of e-signature tool if you're a realtor right now. And the seventh and final tech tool that I want to talk about that every realtor needs to have is some type of email marketing platform. And look, I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of maybe not doing this enough myself, which is unfortunate. I'm working on it too, right? We're all a work in progress here, right? But you need some type of email marketing platform, especially if you're someone who's out there, paying for leads. And you're getting names and phone numbers and emails and it's hundreds or maybe thousands of people. Start getting some type of email marketing platform that's going to stay in constant contact with these people because you're never going to know. I mean, and I'll tell you this from personal experience, right? When my wife and I bought our first house, first of all, we had no clue of what we were doing. But the second time, we thought we were going to be much better. When we started our second home search, it took us about 1.5 years or 2 years before we actually purchased our house. And the reason why we picked the realtor that we used, and look, this was before I got into the industry. I think I went to an open house and I signed in on a name, phone number, email. And there was one realtor who we said what we were looking for in the area we were looking for. And we got like 1 or 2 emails, it felt like, every week from this guy for like 1.5 years straight. And at the time, I didn't realize all he did was he just put me into some type of email thing where every time a new listing popped up in the area that I was looking for in my price range, it came to me. I didn't know that existed, right? So me as a consumer, I thought, oh my God, this guy has sent me 100 emails. I felt obligated when it was time for us to actually buy a house to call that guy and be like, hey, thanks for the emails. Can we get together and start looking at houses? And it wasn't until I got in the industry where I realized, he wasn't the one sending those emails, right? Like it was automated. There are people like that out there where if you might get their phone number and their email today and you set them up on an auto email drip that might call you 2 years down the road and say, hey, now I'm finally ready to buy a house. And if you have the right tools where you set it up where it does it automatically for you, it's just going to make you that much more efficient as a realtor. I know the average age of a realtor right now is close to 60 years old. And I know sometimes they say, well, the longer you're in the business, the more you struggle with technology. You don't have to struggle with technology, guys. Embrace it. Use it for what it is, which is a tool to make you a better version of what you already are. And I think you'll take your career to a whole new level. That's all for today. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychak at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.